What is up, YouTube and acolytes? You guys know who I am. I am the Theblazingdeity. I host a channel where the hottest gaming and comic content is like a religion, and I have been waiting for like a month to talk more Thundercats with you all. Now, before we hop into that, the very first thing I want to do is thank you guys for over 200 subscribers here on YouTube. We're going to keep throwing out this comic book review content. We might add some manga, we might add some anime reactions, we might have a extra segment with some of you guys on it and your questions and your opinions, but we're going to continue to give you guys this comic book content. Thank you so much for, showing the support you have been, and we're going to hop right into issue 2 of the Thundercats. And like the title shows, there is indeed another Thunderian and a potential new Thundercat. And I'm going to try and make these videos a little bit shorter. I've been told that some of the videos have been lengthy. I did promise like between 15 and 20 minutes, but we might cut this down a little shorter. But this starts off with a PTSD-induced dream for Lino. Within this dream, he's searching out Jaga, who was indeed the guardian of the Thundercats, who was supposed to help them get to a new safe haven during the raid and destruction of their homeworld, Thundera. And when he finds him, it's actually his remains, and it scares him out of his sleep. During this time, Wily Kid and Wily Cat were actually coming in to check on Lionel to make sure he was okay. They actually brought him food. They were just being real friends, just trying to see how he was doing. And what people don't understand, or what some people don't remember, is that Lionel is not the peer of Panthro and Tigra and Cheetah. He is the peers of the Wily twins, and the only reason people would mistake that is because he looks like an adult. Like we said in the first issue, because his pod was compromised, it forced his body to be exposed to the elements of space, and he grew up. He did not grow mentally, he did not age mentally, he aged physically. So the Wily twins are his friends. These are his peers. These are the people he would normally be hanging out with, having fun with, roughhousing with, exploring with. But he has been treating them distant. He has been treating them different because of all the things he currently has to take on as the leader of the Thundercats. And with all the things they've been going through, he just has not been able to be a kid. That is a thing that he is dealing with. But most of all, he's dealing with the responsibility of having to lead this group where Panthro does not think he is ready. He just destroyed the Sword of Omens in combat. Wasn't his fault. He countered Lord Slith and the sword actually broke. But it's neither here or there. It's mentioned in this conversation, and it kind of bums him out. He's like, listen, I know what's going on. I know what happened with the Sword of Omens. I know what happened with like everything that's going on. I know I grew up all this. And they're trying to talk him down. They're like, hey, Lino, we know you're going through stuff, but hey, look on the bright side. The Thundercats are out salvaging the mutant ship, seeing if we can get parts that will rebuild our own ship. And Wily Kid is like, hey, we might even be able to go home, which is a huge bummer because their home world is destroyed, unfortunately, which causes Lionel to say, hey, listen, I know you guys mean well, but I just need a moment. We'll hop back into what Wily Kid and Wily Cat think later on, but we pick up with the other Thundercats, Tigra, Cheetah, and Panthro, and they're salvaging the mutant ship where they stumble upon another Thunderian who is aboard this ship. She's unconscious. So they can't believe their eyes. Panthro's like, by Thundera, like we found another Thunderian. This is crazy. We need to let Lionel know. So Cheetah grabs this new Thunderian and races back to their headquarters. During this time, we have the mutant army and Lord Slith. Lord Slith separates himself from his army and says, you guys need to go find a place where we can regroup. I will formulate a counterattack. I will make a plot against the Thundercats, but I need silence. I need isolation to do that. You guys go find some place where we can, camp and get our bearings back. And this is a strategy that he's using so they don't see him as weak because he needs to tend to his wounds from the battle. They go off and something befalls them. Something mysterious befalls them. They get pulled into the dirt like they're being hunted by tremors. Do you guys remember that movie by any chance? But these guys just get pulled into the dirt one after the other and are never seen again after they stumble upon this structure. Like, can you imagine that your one job is to find camp and then like you're seemingly swallowed up by the ground? Like, it's like things cannot go the mutants' way. Like, the karma that they're getting right now is wild. And during this, while Lord Slith is trying to regain his composure, he's attacked by one of the native creatures of this planet, which is like this giant hentai or tentacle monster thing that he dispatches rather easily. Like, of course, the Thundercats are going to give him and the army a run for its money, but this everyday tentacle monster that thought it would ambush him stood no chance at all. We find out that this young Thunderian, once we pan back to the Thundercats, was actually abducted by the mutants who, during her time on Thundera, she was in fact a farmer alongside her father, but like I said earlier, was captured by the mutants and experimented on. She says that the experiments got more painful the more they did it. And hearing this, of course, Lionel empathizes with her, but Tigra and Panthro not so much. Panthro actually takes it the next step and starts asking questions, and these are important questions to ask. Like, how long have you been here? How long have you been on Thundera? Or how long were you on Thundera? Like, where was this farm? How long were you farming for? Because to him, the story seems far too coincidental. It's far too perfect that a random Thunderian who they didn't expect to run into so happened to be on a mutant ship, the same mutant ship that found them in the middle of nowhere, and they happen to escape the destruction of Thundera. That's just wild in Panthro's mind, and the same with Tyra. But it actually upsets Lionel that they would question, or specifically Panthro would be so skeptical of this new Thunderian. He's like, what are you doing? She's been through enough. Why are you harping on her? Why are you asking these questions? And Panthro's like, because we need to know these things. He's like, I don't mean any disrespect, son. And Lionel's like, whoa. Take a few steps back. I'm not your boy. I'm not your son. You're not my guardian. I am indeed Lord of the Thundercats, and what I say goes. You will obey. Now, Lionel's feelings are getting riled up here. He is dealing with the turmoil of everything that's happened, and now that he's found someone who is, kind of going through the same plight as him, not really sure of their place, not really sure what's going on, he's lashing out, not at this person, but because they're both feeling the same thing. And like how he felt Panthro was being inconsiderate of him earlier, now he's seeing Panthro seemingly be inconsiderate to this new Thunderian who in his eyes has done nothing wrong and needs their assistance. So he storms off to go comfort this Thunderian, whose name is Kalika, or Kalisa, I'm pretty sure. We'll call her Kalisa. Kalisa is the name of this Thunderian. I'm pretty sure how that's pronounced, but he reveals to Kalisa that, hey, Thundera is gone. I'm sorry, but the people that you know, the people that you love, unfortunately, they're no more. And she breaks down. She's like, my family, they're gone. I don't know what to do. During this conversation, we have Panthro and Tigra pretty much going back and forth like, hey, you shouldn't have challenged Lionel in front of him. I understand what you were doing, but to question him in front of us would only rile up his insecurity and make him harder to deal with. And that's true. Lionel has a chip on his shoulder, and if at every turn he feels like he's doing something wrong, or it's perceived that they do not trust him, it's going to make it more difficult for him not just to lead, but to come into himself. We pan back to what's going on, and Lionel's trying his best to comfort Kalisa, and he's like, you know what? We're your family now. You can stay with us. And you get this image of Mum Ra talking about gifts left behind by Jaga and his magic. Now, I'm under the assumption that this is a traitor. She is either being mind controlled by Mun Ra. She is either Mun Ra in disguise, or she's an apprentice of some sort, right? But that's all I can imply until issue 3 comes out. I did like this issue. I will give it a 7. I enjoyed issue 1 far better because of the nostalgia factor, the battle. I loved it. This was a whole lot of monologue. But I enjoyed the introduction of this new Thunderian, Kalisa, and hopefully we dive more into her character in issue 3. But like I speculate, she's probably just a aspect of Mum Ra. It's either him in disguise, or he has taken over her mind, or she's an apprentice. She's about to go full Anakin Skywalker on the Thundercats, and we have no idea why. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. Like I said, I give it a 7. And like I said, if you hear it in the background, we are again listening to the artist Thundercat. I feel like that's going to be a staple every single time we do a review video about the Thundercats, or anytime we talk about Thundercats, we're going to have Thundercat playing in the background. But you guys let me know. What did you think of this issue? Do you like Kalisa? Do you think Panthro is being too hard on Lionel? Do you think Lionel is being too hard on himself? Could be both. But issue 3 comes out next month. This is going to be a monthly series. So in a couple of weeks, we'll be back with issue 3, and we can have a longer discussion on it. But until then, guys, thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you in the next one.